Hi everyone, my name is Karen Silva and today I'm gonna be doing a review of the last book that I read that is called Heist, written by Ariana. So, who's Ariana Godoy? Ariana Godoy is a famous Venezuelan author who was born on October 5th of 1990. So currently she's 31 years old. She was specifically born in Zulia, where she grew up. But now, currently, she lives in North Carolina in the United States. So, Ariana's success began in 2011 when she downloaded a platform to write her own stories. But it wasn't until 2014 when My Wattpad Love, her first story in English, went a lot of success. Then she wrote My Hopeless Choice. But then she wanted to start writing again in Spanish because she knew she had a lot of Spanish followers. So that's when she wrote Through My Window, or like in Spanish, A Través de Mi Ventana. Both of them have their own books in both of their languages, and this book currently has an adaptation by Netflix. So then she wrote My Hopeless Choice in Spanish. She also wrote other books called like Lost Souls, but in Spanish Almas Perdidas, and other books that are currently on her profile. And the one that I'm gonna be talking about, Heist. This book was published by Penguin Random House on March 4th of this year. Heist is the book number 2 of a saga called Darks. The first book is My Hopeless Choice, but you don't need to read that one to understand this one because it's autoconclusive. Heist is a book that has 445 pages in total, 58 chapters plus the epilogue, and its genre is thriller and dark romance. The synopsis of the book is: the town of Wilson is quiet, governed by very strict religious customs and beliefs, where Lee has grown up, following every rule and guideline as directed. A town where they doesn't welcome newcomers very gracefully. So when the Staines move in next door towards Lee, she can't help but to be curious about them. The Staines are a wealthy family, mysterious and very elegant. They look like the perfect portrait of a family. But are they? What hides behind such perfection? And when death begins to haunt the town, no one can help but to wonder if it has something to do with the new members of their community. Lee, who is the only one who can dig into the truth, the only one who can get close to the oldest of the family, the infamous, arrogant, and cold-hearted Heist. So the narrators that we have in this book are 3 different ones. Our main character, Lee Fleming, the second one is Heist, the boy next door, and the third one is the unknown person, which is the one who's responsible for all the deaths in the town. Your job is to think about who this person is, but in the end, your brain is gonna be so blown up when you find out who that person is. I was blown up, so you will be. They never showed exactly who this person is for the exact same reason, for you to think about it. But they show conversations with some characters of the story, which currently makes you think about that it can be anyone in that town. So every character in this book, or mostly of these characters in the book, are teenagers between 17 years old to 19 years old. But there are also some adults and many psychopaths. Which reminds me that this book talks about very serious issues that are so the issues that this book talks about are very psychological disorders that make the characters special also. Some psychopath who doesn't know what it's to feel emotions, but the people who study them so well can intimidate their people around them and their reactions. They can control it. such as the subject that they're studying or the circumstances that they're dealing with. And it's so impressive how Godoy creates such chilling characters, because it seems that she does research for those characters. She knows how to like touch them, and it doesn't like necessarily looks for a cure for them, or like, oh, they're healed, whatever. No, they have their issues. It's something that you need to know, and if you feel very sensitive towards that, probably you should have in mind that the topics that she talks about are really really a bit strong. So some of the other characters are sociopaths who are calculated and cold, and they feel like everything that is happening, it's going to like they want to control it. They don't feel emotions also. And other topics and issues that she talks are dissociative personality, a condition where you have different personalities. Sometimes one is going to pop out, you have another one who's like more normal. So there are a lot of different ones. Also, we have PTSD with our main character Lee. We also have depression with another character that it's really important in the story. Many issues that in this book are told. Now, moving on to the characters of this story. The first one, of course, we have our main character, Lee Fleming. She is a 17-year-old who has lived her whole life in Wilson, and she is the leader of her religion in her town. She just turned 18 when the Staines moved in, so it's a whole new thing for her. She is someone who she surprised me every time when she make a choice in the book, because when I thought I really knew her, she surprised me then on the next chapter or with something else she chooses. She's a controlled, smart, strong, and very observant girl, and she creeps into Heist's head because he knows what to see through her, and Lee also knows how to put nervous other people around her. And she's like this character that I love because fights against what she wants and what she's supposed to do, what people tell her that it's good, but she knows that it's wrong, and she pretends to be like this little good girl, but she's not. Like, she has her dark side. But the bad thing is that she has to always be perfect in front of everyone, and I think that's something that I can really relate to, and most of the people can relate to. So although if you see the context of the town or whatever, you can actually relate to her because she always have to be this perfect girl in front of her family, her friends, everyone around her. Now moving on to Heist. He is the boy next door, of course, the boy who gets into Lee's head, the one who actually makes Lee truly herself. So Heist is this guy who likes to study people and likes to make games about them and likes to mess up in their heads. So he always gets what he wants. That's what he said in the beginning. So he's a special character because he also had some of mask in the beginning, but in the end of the story you see all of his struggles around his family, everything that he's been through with his brother and sister. So it's really nice to see how some cool guy has also their issues, but not like, oh, I also have family problems. Like, he has some deep stuff there, and like it makes you realize, connects everything in the story, which makes you understand more about the unknown person. So he's like this cold and calculating guy who doesn't really like to tell people how he feels because, same as Lee, he has been this perfect kid in front of his mom, but he always wanted the approval of one of his parents. So even though he never has that approval, he always works hard to show to his dad that he's the best, better than his other siblings. Another character that is very important in the story is Mila State. She is Heist's mother. She is this blonde with perfect skin. She's a beautiful woman physically, but she also is this incredible smart woman who's determined to give her life to protect the people that she loves, that is her family. All of her sons and daughters, even her husbands. So she's loyal to her family, and she already knows what she wants with them. She knows that she'll do anything to protect them, and no matter what, she will always look towards them, not only for her, but to protect from the unknown person that she didn't know who he was. And we also have the other two siblings in the family that they're most talked about in the book, who is Kaya and Frey Stain. They are twin brothers, and as strange as it sounds, is that they are so different from each other. Physically, they're actually like really close, but mentally, like all of their actions, what they do in the book are like completely different, because they knew that something was up between them, between Heist and Lee. One of them already knew who was the unknown person all along. The other one, it's like this calm person. Like Kaya is the one who likes to go to parties. She's most sociable. She's this really nice girl. And Frey is the one who struggles with a lot of issues that it talks about in the book. He has like depression, anxiety, all a lot because of the environment that they grew up in. Also Heist, he has his issues because of the environment that they grew up in. So seriously, the way that Ariana describes each person, their characteristics, their attitude, it's incredible, because it makes you like identify them as how different they are. Even though they're probably from the same family, they all have their character, different character. And like Heist, they are calculating, and they know about strategy and about execution of plans, and that's how they cause another problem in their lives, honestly. So if when you read the book, you see all of this plot, but you also have another like storyline. And the three last, I feel, the most important characters that I should be talking about are Main Stain, Walter Stain, and Pierce Stain. These three characters are very important in the story between Mila too, because they're the main characters of the first book, My Hopeless Choice. So even though you don't have to read the first book, because it's actually telling in one of the chapters in the book between about their relationship, the four of them, they just help with the story, because one of them is a psychopath, but it's also a doctor who treats people with issues. That's why one of them treats Frey. The other one is a police officer, but it's also a sociopath. And the other one is like this sweet person who gives the stability to the family with all of his love. So I'll just tell you that Heist, Kaya, and Frey are the way they are for a reason, thanks to all of that environment between these four. So we also have the antagonist, which is the unknown person, but I cannot say much about him because it will be like the spoiler of the book. But he's also a very calculating person, and I have to admit that I was not expecting that for him. I was like expecting this person who like will say who he is really fast, but his game all along was to make you think, to pretend that he was this other person, but then you find out that it's this person. So other characters that are mentioned in the books are Thomas Fleming, who is Lee's father, also Carter Phillips, who is this perfect guy of the town. He is this popular guy. He's actually the son of the leader of the religious church, but he also has his own secret. But he's not really relevant to the story, in my opinion. Who is also a little bit relevant, I think it would be like Red, who's another problem to the story. Well, not problem. I will say like they have a love triangle in the story, which is Lee, Heist, and Red. So it's a little bit of a love triangle, but not really the main topic in the book, of course, because the main topic is all of the murders in the town. So I will not really know if it's really relevant to have him in the story, but he gave a little bit of spiciness in the book, so I like my book comparison to Heist. It has to be another book called Damian. It's written by Alex Mires, another famous author who is also Venezuelan, because they're both thriller. They also both have dark romance, but it's not the main topic from the story. And that book also has a really big plot. So I think these both books have the same energy, the same genre. So that's why I really like both of these books. And I will definitely say that this it's better than Damian. So, but I compare these two because of their same genre. My application process of the book is that it made me think about how we often think that when we will see a monster, we will be scared, we will run away. We imagine the worst thing ever because it can scare us into death, right? But in reality, it won't, because you wouldn't realize when you're dealing with it until like you see that that person is hurting the loved ones that you care about, or it could be this person that you trust the most, or it could be this person that you think, oh, it's really nice. You talk to that person, you are friends with them, but it turns out that that person that you trust is the monster of the story. So you have to be careful on the people that you talk to. You can like really be stabbed in the back whenever you're not like seeing. So it made me thought about how people can like really be the monster even though they're beside you and you wouldn't even realize until it's too late. So my conclusion of this book is that I knew I was going to enjoy it since the moment that I read the synopsis. And when I started reading it for the first time in the platform, I was completely shocked with the plot of the unknown person. And I was really happy actually with the ending of this book. Many people will say that they will deserve a happy ending or the ending was too tragic, but I feel that it's a really good ending to all of the characters because of all of the tragedies, the lies, the strategies, and the romance that this book has. And I feel like people are really going to enjoy it because if you're a person who doesn't really like romance and cliche, even though this book has some of cliches, it's mostly about the thriller and about the murders and about this character discovering how much of a life she was living in, and all of the characters trying to work in their issues. So I feel like the topics that this book talks about, even though it's not a whole book or anything, it's well written. It doesn't, I feel like it's wrong or anything, and it gives you the message that many people wear masks theoretically, and that at some point they're gonna just take it off, be vulnerable in front of you, and you're gonna realize how much you didn't actually know that person. and also how much actually the person that you can trust beside you, your best friend or whatever, can actually be the monster in the story. So that got me thinking a lot about that. And so I hope you guys really enjoyed this review. Will buy this book, which is you can buy it in Amazon or in other libraries. But always remember, as long as you live, Hastings will always be in your mind. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video and have a great rest of your day.